Hey guys, just very quickly, Graham has unfortunately lost his voice, so he wasn't going to be much use in here. So René's come in to deputise. I guess we'll start with questions and follow-ups. If anyone wants to get started, Vince, I'm looking at you to maybe kick things off, and we'll move around from there.
René, what are your thoughts on the game? Does it feel like an opportunity missed tonight, given the strength of the performance?
Yeah, I think so. Having said that, I think we'd be very, very proud of this performance. Sometimes in football you play games and the results are not going for you, and then you try to look for what the causes are. But this is, I think, one of those losses where you can be really, really proud of the performance. I mean, we played against an absolutely strong, very strong nation. You know, if you look at, they've obviously got a very big game coming up in a few days against Italy, as we all know. But they can field two world-class teams, without a shadow of a doubt. And if you look at the players where they play, you know, what leagues they play, what clubs they play, and if you then see where we have been coming from as Australia, obviously I worked with Graham now for 5 years, and what we've done, and if you look over the nearly last 12 months to where we come from, qualifying through the two playoff games, then the World Cup, which was great, where we will play France, Tunisia, Denmark, Argentina, and even in leading up to this game where we played strong opposition, Ecuador twice, Argentina again, and Mexico, and now England. This was by far the best performance. You know, I think we were very well organised, very well structured. The players played with courage and bravery when we could. And with a bit of more luck, we could have scored, you know, at least 2 goals.
How did Arnie lose his voice? What was he doing?
Well, I've tried to warn him. He says, you are in a stadium here that probably holds, you know, more than 80,000 people. Nobody will hear you, you know, but that is his passion. You know, Arnie is so passionate about Australian football, you know, about the young players and about the national team. And he can't help himself, but he paid the price tonight.
What did you learn about the team tonight to go out there in front of 80,000 people, particularly some of the younger players who, you know, there's a lot of players with 5 to 10 caps in that squad who didn't really look out of place?
I think if you look a bit further than that, you have to give those boys an enormous credit. You know, the bravery that they have, and I think it's the mentality that stands out for us as an Australian nation. We can go toe to toe with all the big nations. We are just trying to find that extra bit of quality to really put them to the sword, you know, and that is what we're looking for. But like I said, we keep trying to find new young players to bring in, you know, to making sure that we keep developing and we keep, you know, growing as a team. And we've grown a lot again today, for sure.
And just lastly from me, it's the second game that Kai Rolls has played at left back. What's the sort of rationale with testing him in that position, and is that something you'll continue to do?
Well, no, it's always good to have players that can play in multiple positions, you know, and we've had, obviously, I think Graham has stated that a few times, that is difficult for us in the windows of September or October, that we can draw from Australian players. We've got the A-League hasn't started, so those players weren't fit enough. That was the case also with Aziz Behic at the time when we played Mexico. We know that Kai can play there. Obviously, we have good conversations with players when we try them in different positions. Kai is very comfortable there. And with Cam Burgess coming in, you know, to see what we can do there. And again, Cam Burgess, again, outstanding performance with him again, with Harry Suter at the back. So it's another option for us. So very pleased with that performance as well.
Might open it up to anyone else who's got questions. Ian?
What do you think of Goodwin tonight? I mean, he was particularly outstanding playing Saudi these days, but clearly it's not affected his...
No. Craig is one of those, you know, footballers who's got this lovely touch, this finesse, and also the great intelligence that he carries into the game. And we've seen him in the World Cup. Obviously, he's made that move to Saudi, but luckily he's played enough games for us to select him, you know, because that is, again, that's what we're looking at. Match minutes are important for players to be, you know, to be fit. But again, like I said, today every single performance was outstanding. There was not one player that we could discuss, listen, we need to stop him or stop him. Any substitutions we made was because people were running out of energy, and we have to bring some other players on. But now it was fantastic to see him back in camp and fantastic to see him play the way that he did.
Zach, over to you.
Thanks, mate. What was the feeling? You talked a little bit about the quality. You know, England's second team is international world-class standard. What was the feeling between you and Arnie having to respond to the substitutes that they made in particular? I mean, what was that moment like, seeing the list of players that they were bringing on? Well, we expected that was going to happen. But the one thing I think that we respect everybody, but we don't fear anybody. That is, I think, the biggest thing. And we knew that if Gareth Southgate could have gone about this game in two ways. You know, he could have gone about it to start a strong side and then start to filter them out, or start, and rightly so, to maybe for him to look at some other players and then making sure that you bring some other players on, you know, that he wanted to see on the pitch as well. But without a shadow of a doubt, he's got world-class players in every position. But for us, I think if you look back, and I think we need to look at the credit for ourselves, we had a fantastic game plan. We were very well organised. And there's not many national teams, I tell you that have the courage to press and to go and to press against big teams. Because I tell you, most of the national team coaches, they think they haven't got enough contact time with the team, so they opt for a more, you know, a more calm sort of approach, you know, to sort of defend it. We always go full out, we press where we can, and I think that is admirable from our side.